Greetings and welcome to More Hymn Stories number 67, Oh, for a Closer Walk with God. Oh, for a closer walk with God, a common heavenly frame, a light to shine upon the road that leads me to the Lamb. Where is the blessedness I knew when first I saw the Lord? Where is the soul refreshing view of Jesus and His Word? Return, O holy dove, return, sweet messenger of rest. I hate the sins that made thee mourn and drove me from my breast. The dearest idol I have known, whate'er that idol be, help me to tear it from thy throne and worship only thee. So shall my walk be close with God, calm and serene my frame. So pure light shall mark the road that leads me to the Lamb. Oh, for a closer walk with God. The author of this hymn is William Cowper from 1731 to 1800. The composer for the musical score is John B. Dykes from 1823 to 1876. The tune name is To Beatitudo. The meter reading is CM 86.86. The scripture reference for the hymn is taken from Genesis 5:24. Our scripture reading for this hymn story is taken from the book of Psalms, number 63, verses 7 and 8. Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. My soul followeth hard after thee. Thy right hand upholdeth me. One of the saddest lives ever lived was that of the author of this hymn text, William Cowper. Early in life, Cowper developed a chronic melancholy and despondency which plagued him until his death. In one state of mental torment, he even attempted suicide by drowning in October of 1773. Though Cowper wrote much fine devotional material, he was continually troubled by the lack of assurance of his own salvation. Today, however, his hymns are often referred to as part of the prized treasures of the Christian Church. William Cowper, pronounced Cooper, so I guess it's Cooper, like you would say Cooper, was born on November 15th, 1731, in Great Berkhamsted, England, the son of the chaplain to King George II. Following a period in his early life when he attempted to study and practice law, Cowper eventually moved to the village of Olney, where he began an association and firm friendship with John Newton, pastor of the Olney Anglican Parish Church. In 1799, the combined talents of Newton and Cowper produced the famous Olney Hymns hymnal, one of the most important single contributions made to the field of evangelical hymnody. In this ambitious collection, 349 hymns, 67 were written by Cowper, with the remainder by Newton. During Cowper's residence in Olney, he stayed with Mrs. Unwin, who remained his devoted friend and guardian till the end of her days. This home is now a very popular museum in Olney, containing interesting relics, books, and portraits of Cowper and his friends. Behind the home is the lovely garden where Cowper and Newton met nearly every day to work on their hymns. "Oh, for a Closer Walk with God" is said to have been written on December 9th, 1769, during the serious illness of Cowper's dear friend, Mrs. Unwin. In a letter written the following day referring to this event, Cowper wrote, "She is the chief of blessings I have met with my journey since the Lord was pleased to call me. Her illness has been a sharp trial to me. Oh, that it may have a sanctified effect, that I may rejoice to surrender up to the Lord my dearest comforts, the moment he may require them. I began to compose the verses yesterday morning before daybreak, but fell asleep at the end of the first 2 lines. When awakened, the 3rd and 4th were whispered to my heart in a way which I have often experienced." The hymn first appeared in a collection of psalms and hymns compiled by William Cowper in 1772. When it was later included in the Olney Hymns Hymnal, Book 1, it bore the title "Walking with God," based on Genesis 5:24. "And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." For a closer walk with God reflects, in a most poignant manner, the inner struggles of William Cowper's sensitive soul, and his earnest desire to experience the inner serenity of God's abiding presence in his life. Other well-known hymns by William Cowper include "There is a Fountain," "God Moves in a Mysterious Way," often described as the finest hymn on God's providence ever written, and "The Spirit Breathes Upon the Word." Not only did Cowper contribute much to hymnody, but he was also one of the most respected secular poets of the 18th century. Several of his best-known works include a translation of Homer, a widely acclaimed volume of poems entitled "The Task," along with his most famous literary poem, John Gilpin's happy and mirthful narrative. The tune "Beatudo" was composed by John Bacchus Dykes, one of England's leading church musicians of the 19th century. Dykes was born on March 10, 1823, at Kingston upon Hull, England. He received his training at Cambridge University and later was awarded an honorary Doctor of Music degree from Durham University. Dr. Dykes is credited with composing 300 hymns, many of which are still widely used today. Melita, Nessia, Holy, 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 Vox Delecti, I Heard the Voice of Jesus Say, Saint Agnes, Jesus, the Very Thought of Thee, and Lux Beginninga. The tune "Beatudo" was originally composed by John Dykes for the hymn text "How Bright These Glorious Spirits Shine," which appeared in the 1875 edition of the hymn's Ancient and Modern Hymnal. Beatudo was a word coined by Cicero, meaning the condition of blessedness. Here's a quote by an unknown author. "God often visits us, but most of the time we are not at home." And then this poem was written by James Montgomery. "Lord, teach us how to pray aright, with reverence and with fear. Though dust and ashes in thy sight, we must draw near. God of all grace, we bring to thee a broken, contrite heart. Give what thine eyes delight to see, truth in the inward part. Faith is the only sacrifice that can for sin atone. To cast our hopes, to fix our eyes on Christ alone. Give these, and then thy will be done." Thus strengthened with all might. We through thy Spirit and thy Son shall pray, and pray aright. Again, that was written by James Montgomery. Hopefully you've enjoyed this hymn story, more hymn stories, number 67. And I look forward to seeing you in our next episode, hymn stories number 68, Oh Happy Day. Until then, have a wonderful and blessed day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.